Hear me well?
Yeah, well, I thought I didn't have a class today.
Okay, why? What's wrong?
Like my dad said, I'm gonna not study for a few days,
Oh, I'm so sorry because
but we can just continue study. I'm bored anyways.
okay. So because I can see you in my schedule. So maybe I think last Saturday and last I don't know, maybe it's last Wednesday or Tuesday. So I can't see you in my schedule, but right now I don't know, but you're in my schedule. So is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So this evening we are going to talk about stress. Okay. Wait a minute. Yes. Okay. So before we start reading this one, before we start reading about stress, so how are you going to describe stress for you? What is stress?
Something that makes you feel uncomfortable. It's, um, well, if you suffer from long stress, you can also get some more illness. And it's too much. It can affect your mental health
Yes.
or anything else.
Yes. So stress can really affect your mental health, especially if you're under a lot of stress or you're under a lot of pressure. So it's not really good, not just for your mental health, but also your physical health. Okay. So now we have here a passage about stress. Okay. But before that, can you tell me something about this picture?
And a person holding a lot of stress, it means that he got do a lot of things in his life, or he just need some vacation. I don't know.
Mhm. So he's under a lot of stress. So maybe he's carrying a lot of burden or stress. Maybe he has a lot of problems. So there are a lot of things going on with his life. Okay. So let's have this one. Okay, so now can you read the passage?
Okay. Despite decades of study on stress management, tension, and burnout, a still major problem for modern urban areas, both mentally and physically. Through there is wide consensus among professionals that stress causes illness. It is much less clear how much damage it does to us. Part of the problem is that stress levels affect people differently. A few people, a few have learned how to shrug off stress with little thought, or perhaps they merely think so. Perhaps it's bothering them much more than they realize, but for others, even minor frustration cause them go to pieces. Nevertheless, some aspects of the illness seem clear as with most health-related issues. A good diet and low alcohol and tobacco intake make it easier to manage stress. Intense exercise uh, is particularly helpful. Being able to concentrate on some project, perhaps a hobby such as painting or playing a musical instrument, is also very useful if it is unrelated to the stress-causing activity. But the most valuable of all is developing the ability to step outside oneself and put everything in proper perspective and have a good, healthy life.
Okay. So we are talking about stress, and there are a lot of new words here. Let's start with despite decades. Do you know what is a decade, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So despite decade of studies on stress management, how about stress management? Do you know that one?
And you manage stress.
Mm-hmm. A few ways on how to manage stress. Okay. Tension. Do you know what is tension?
And I'm not sure about that yet.
Okay, so tension, the word tension, so it's a situation in which people maybe they have a problem with other people too. So there's a tension between them. Okay, so it's a problem or a feeling that makes you are not you are unable to relax or yes, it's a feeling of nervousness or yes, just like that. The feeling that you don't really know what are you feeling. Okay, that's tension. And burnout. You know what is burnout?
And no.
Okay. So burnout is frustration, fatigue, okay, due to stress. Okay, so these are still major problems of this one, modern urban dwellers. Do you know what is urban?
Er, I know, but what is thrillers?
Okay, dwellers. The word dwellers means a person or maybe an animal or yes, something that lives in a particular place. For example, you are living in Vietnam, so you can be called Vietnam dweller. Okay, it means you are living. You're a person that lives in a place or you live in that particular place. Okay, so when you say urban dwellers, so those persons who are living in urban places. Okay.
Okay.
And it's both mentally and physically, okay? How about this word consensus? You know this one?
And no.
Okay, so when you say though there is a wide consensus among professionals, so the word consensus means it's an opinion, okay, that all members of a group agree with. So, and the group here is the professionals, okay. So these are consensus are the opinion, okay. These are the opinion of the professionals that stress causes illness, okay. You agree that stress causes illness?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So it is much less clear how much damage it does, okay? How about, okay, this one. So a few have learned how to shrug off. You know what is shrug off?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how to shrug off stress with the thought of, yes, this one. You already know this one, right? This one. As with most health-related issues, a good diet and low alcohol and tobacco intake make it easier to manage stress. Okay? So, but why do you think some people are, you know what, they are smoking, they're drinking alcohol because they say that it can reduce stress. Do you believe them?
And for some reason, I do believe that like when you drink alcohol, it makes your brain like not that clear, like it's not working proper. Just like how you're drunk, and it makes you think about positive things.
Maybe if you're going to drink alcohol and you'll forget or you'll forget about the stress that you are having because you will have a good time, but maybe just for a short period of time, and that's not really good for your health. Okay, so we have here intense exercise is particularly helpful. Okay, being so you already know about this one. Okay, so how about this one? Okay, most valuable of all is developing the ability to step outside oneself, put everything in proper perspective. You know what is perspective, right?
Yeah.
hmm And have a good hearty laugh. Okay, so by the way, last time your homework was to answer some questions about stress, right? Since our topic is all about stress. And the first question is what kind of things causes you stress? And your answer is when you have too many things to do and when you have too many things to worry about in life, right? So you
Yeah.
will be stressed. And question number two is how can a lot of stress affect your physical health? Okay, it can make you angry for little things, affect others, and making you have more chance to have mental illness. Okay, and is that also good for your body? Because some people, when they are stressed, they will they will drink too much alcohol, they will smoke a lot, they are going to eat unhealthy foods. Okay,
Yeah.
and the last one is how do you behave when you are under a lot of pressure? You'll be tired and you usually get angry and always worry about things. Okay. So stress, people usually get irritated, okay, in just small things, so they get angry easily, even if just small things. Okay, so that's stress. Okay, so do you think stress is a really big problem in our society nowadays?
Maybe
Why? Why do you think it's a big problem?
since it's a like when you having stress, you can't do things proper. You always worry and have maybe get a mental illness and
Mm-hmm.
just like depression or social anxiety or maybe because they just worry about stress just because they lower their worker effect effectiveness.
Yes, you're right. So this is a very big problem in our society because a lot of people are under stress, okay? Because they have too much to do and too much to worry about. And because of stress, some people are depressed, some have suicidal thoughts, and some even, you know what, they committed suicide. They kill themselves because they think that there's no hope. Okay? That's why this is really a problem, okay? A problem that needs to be addressed. Okay, so let's answer this one. Let's answer the questions here. Let's start with question number one.
Why is it so hard to treat stress properly?
Mhm.
Since you maybe you don't know what are you having stress or not, you won't know what to do. When you have stress, it's like mostly you would just feel annoyed by something, not stressed. Then you don't know what to properly do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So maybe it's so hard to treat stress because yes, you don't know how to deal with stress. Or maybe also even if you know, but it's hard for you to do that, especially if you really have a lot of things to stress about. Okay. That's why it's really hard. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So how about let's have number two.
2. What do doctors know about stress? Um, they maybe mm, they know what to do with it, and they know how to cure it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So maybe doctors know what are the things that you need to do so that maybe you can avoid stress or you can reduce stress. Okay. So they know what kind of exercises you need to do, where do you need to go? Yes, things like that. They know about that. Okay, how about number three?
3. What are the best ways to deal with the problems?
Mm-hmm. So what are the best ways to deal with the problem?
Just think of something positive and try to make it better.
Okay. So now let's answer this one. Let's have express yourself. So we are going to answer these questions here. Let's start with question number one.
Who suffered from the most stress in your opinion? I don't know, like maybe workers suffer the most. They always have to do things, and always have to worry about that, but about what they should do and how's things going.
Okay. So there is a study that says millennials are you know what? Millennials have the highest average stress levels. Okay, maybe because they have, but it's just a study, but we don't know because it differs from one person to another. So it's just a study that says millennials have the highest average stress levels because they need to stress about a lot of things. And millennials are, you know what, they have a wide imagination, so they keep on overthinking. So they're making simple things. Uh,
Harder or more complicated.
Yes, they're making simple things more complicated and they're overthinking. That's why they will be under a lot of stress. Okay, so yes, but we don't really know because for some people, even if they're not millennials or even if they're still very young and they're under a lot of stress, maybe because of some reasons. Okay, how about this one? Let's have number two.
2. Who handles stress better in general, men or women?
Mm-hmm. What do you
I don't
think?
know. Maybe women. I
Why do you think?
usually saw women just they just solve stress better than man. Like you, when they break up with their partners, they would just sad. But after a few weeks or a month, they would just back to their normal life. While men struggle to get less stressed after it. So just like that, women does solve stress better.
So you think women can handle stress better, okay? But yes, maybe you're right, but I think it also depends because there are also some men who are very good at handling stress. Okay? So I think it depends, but most of the times, yes, women because they have a lot of patience and yes, they think because there is also a study that says women are 2 years matured than men. Okay, maybe that's also the reason why women can handle stress better than men. Okay, now let's answer question number three.
Can we be stress free? How?
Mm-hmm. Do you think we can be stress free?
Maybe, but only few people. Only few people can do it.
Yes, only people can do it. So, so if a few people can do it, so how do you think they're gonna do that?
They
How
just
are they going to
wanna,
do that?
they just wanna um, think positive. Just like I said before, they just wanna do something that include about the causing of the stress. Then they would just ignore it and continue in their life enjoying things, and they would be stress free.
Yes. So, maybe for some people they can be stress free, but it's really hard to be stress free. Maybe you will still be under stress, but not really under a lot of stress. Okay. Okay. And some says that self-care is an important part of managing stress, and some also says that it's up to you. It's up to you to handle your stress because, for example, if you have a problem, so it's up to you if you're going to think positive or if you're going to think negative, because if you're going to think positive, so even if you're under a lot of stress you will still work hard, you will do effort so that you can handle your stress, so that you can still be productive although you are under a lot of stress. But if you're going to think about negative things, so you'll be discouraged or you'll be disappointed. Yes, just like that. So some people say that it depends on you how you're going to handle something. Okay, now let's have number four.
Okay. How do you deal with stressful situations?
Mm-hmm.
Just basically ignore it. Just ignore it, and it everything will be fine.
So you're just going to ignore.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you're just going to ignore it and you're just going to forget about the time, and then yes, you just wake up, you just wake up one day that okay, you're stress free. Okay. Okay, how about number five?
Do you think living in a complex society is more or less stress? Creating them in a simpler society, or is there no difference?
Mhm.
Um, in my
Do you know what
opinion,
is okay in your opinion?
a, a complex society does create an a bit more stress than a simpler society. But simpler society, there's still stress for people to worry about. Like if they are just more simple, people really just still need to work harder to earn things. Just
Mm-hmm.
like how they pay tax. They earn money, they pay tax, that's simple. And then they also have to deal with normal surroundings.
Mhm. So living in a complex society is more stressful than living in a simpler society because from the word itself, complex society. So when you say complex, so it's made of different things or parts, and yes, there are a lot of complicated things that are going on. So of course you will be under a lot of stress. You will be more stressed. It's more stressful than living in a simpler society because yes, if you're going to live in a simpler society, so you'll have a simple lifestyle, not a complex one. Okay, so there's really a difference between a complex and a simpler society. Now let's have this one. So we are going to talk about the kinds of stresses people are likely to suffer. Okay,
Okay.
so let's start with letter A, employees.
Employees,
Mhm.
they suffer from stress at work. They usually getting scolded and they just don't want to work that much since maybe their work is they when at the end of the month they usually get paid at low price. Then they usually get stress at work since maybe they have a boss that they usually scold them. They
Mhm.
just don't want to do that much of work.
Okay. So they're suffering under a lot of stress because, yes, maybe they're under a lot of pressure because they need to work hard and they just have a small salary. Okay. How about letter B, employers?
Can I ask what is the difference between an employee and an employer?
Okay. The difference between employees and employer. So the first one is let's have the employee. Okay. So
Okay.
an employee is a person who works for another person. For example, in a company, so those people who are working in the company, so they are called employees. Okay. Well, when you say employer, okay, so employer is the person who owns the company. Okay,
Okay.
or yes, who manages a company. Okay.
So employers they have to worry about things like how to make the work keep running, and then they have to worry about what they should do, what they have to manage, then what time to pay for employees, then how much they will pay, then too much other things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how about this one?
The elderly, they have to worry about family, money, their own work, and then what should they do after they were old, and it's a lot of things.
Okay. So do you think they're also stressed about their health?
Yeah,
Why? Why do you think they're?
like if someone have cancer in their family, they definitely must get source of money to care for them. Like in USA, hospital bills is a lot, and then they just when someone will hurt, they don't even want to call an ambulance. So like curing cancer is already expensive. Then they already have to worry about many other things. So they maybe have a lot of stress.
Okay, you're right. Okay, how about this one? Stock investors. You know what are stock investors, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they must worry about what the stock price are. They must worry about when to sell, when to buy. It's like that.
Mm-hmm. Just like that, so they have to worry about a lot of things in a company too. Okay, so I think that's it because we don't have much time left. So for your homework, I want you to, okay, continue this one. You need to talk about the kinds of stress these people are likely to suffer. You will have only three: this one, the handicap, and this one. Okay,
Okay.
so just three. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I have to go now. See you in our next class and have a good night. Bye bye.